Recording in progress.
Hello and welcome. My name is Stefan Poschig from CHC Corporate Health Consulting, and you are listening to the newest episode of our CHC expert interview. Today, I have a very special guest, and we are going to talk about a fundamental, important topic. And she's going to tell you more about this topic in the next seconds. But before, hello and welcome, Kris Miller. Please introduce yourself.
Well, thank you so much for being. It's such an honor to be here, and I appreciate it. I, I I'm a legacy wealth strategist, so I've been in practice for 33 years and thousands of clients. And my specialty is that no one on my watch has ever lost a dime in any market risk. So I'm in the safe money side of the world. I started out as a paralegal, and I was working with an attorney making revocable living trusts. And this is back in 91, 92. You probably weren't born yet, right?
I
And
was, I was.
you were okay. So, but at the time, he wanted to charge this widow. All she had was a car and a house, $5,000, but no money. And I just said, "Hey, you want to give her a deal?" And he said, "No." And that pushed me because I like to have heart inside of my business. That is the real money, making heart connections. So I literally, that pushed me into creating the beginning of my business, which is Trust Unlimited, where I have prepared over 6,000 revocable living trusts and never had a problem. And then as a result of that, I'd have thousands of people coming in my office, and they were all coming in, starting their retirement plan at 50, 60, 70. And it's like, what is wrong here? And then it made, I saw a pattern because I've done this so long, is you basically go to school, learn how to make money, get out of school. What do? Go make money and give it to somebody else to gamble.
Yeah.
Because over decades, 3 decades, I saw the roulette wheel of the stock market going up and down. Now the question is, will it be up or down when you retire? And that pushed me, right? That's the thing, because the first decade was great. Back in those days, people were living off the interest that they had in the bank, like 12% or something back then. And then we had the crash in the end of the 90s, beginning of the 2000s. And then that was sort of like the lost decade, and people lost 40, 60% of their pension. And that really made me think about safe money, not only for myself, but for my clients. So that's where I did the deep dive into something that isn't really common. It's not really talked about.
Yeah. Oh, I really, really love this. So let's jump right into this. You mentioned safe money or safe investments. Is there even something out there which is a safe investment nowadays?
Believe it or not. Okay. Now we all know everything's volatile. The whole world right now is it's
Oh,
on
yeah.
fire. Right. But what I use, and it depends on the age and the health, but I use what's called Index Universal Life. So it's a life insurance chassis. It's like a car, right? But this car is not going to use a bunch of gas, meaning you're not going to pay a bunch of taxes on it. And what it does, it allows you to take an income tax free for life. That's right, tax free. So I literally set one up, and they can be that you can take them. They're very flexible, so they not only give you the tax-free income, but they can be set up for catastrophic illness protection too. So they build cash, they build income, they have catastrophic illness protection, they have a death benefit, they have all the different policies that people sell individually in one. The interest rates are always a few points above inflation. And the safety level is through the roof because now I say this jokingly, but I really do think it's true. The the safety of insurance companies, they have better ratings than United States right now, okay? And I really do think they're the last to fall as the whole economy does its, crumble, because they're insured, reinsured. So every $100 you have with most insurance companies, they have 125 to 135 to your 100. Whereas in a bank, every
It's
$100 you
quite
have in
the
a bank,
opposite.
they have, $1 to $5 to your 100. And
Yeah,
that's why there's like 80 banks or more on the watch list right now. And they're the first to go when the thing shakes, right? Or
yeah,
these banks.
yeah.
So there's several programs. It's not like a one size fits all. I'd like to, it's customized to the person, their age, their health, their wealth, what their goals are. But there are some are health driven where you have to have health to be able to get it. Others are not health driven where you can just roll the money over and create income you'll never outlive,
Mhm.
or build cash and
Mhm.
stash away cash that never goes down in the market. You're
Mhm.
only going to catch the upside. So if it
Mhm.
goes up 5%, you get 5%. If it goes down 5%, nothing happens.
That
It's
sounds really good.
fabulous.
Yeah,
It is great.
sounds really good. So investment in general. We are dealing with so many entrepreneurs, and what we see in our coaching sessions or also in our CHC Academy is that a lot of entrepreneurs are basically afraid of investing. So why is this? Why is this the case?
Well, it's scary and it's complicated, and the whole thing is AI driven. So you're just not gonna do it without that AI setup. And most of your brokerage houses are gambling your money inside of that system, where how they're figuring it out. No one has ever been able to time the market. No one in history has ever been able to say, okay, now it's going to go up again, right? And it's gambling. You are gambling that that company is going to be around in 10 years. And none of us know that. Whereas with the IUL solution or the other solutions, they're gambling that you're going to be around, because if you die early, they got to pay more money. So it changes the energy. It empowers you to be in control of the money instead of you throwing your money out, hoping and praying that it's going to be there because that company will make it.
Mhm.
And now I work with a company that has an AI software that I can refer people to, but I really don't think people, unless you're like 20 years old or something and you have a lot of money, shouldn't be gambling right now.
Mhm.
The whole economy, the whole world system is in the shift, obviously. They're trying to change the health, they're trying to change the wealth into a one world currency. That's where they're trying to push this thing. So it's all in chaos right now, very
Mhm.
volatile,
Oh
right?
yeah, and that's basically the core of the question. So why do you think not directly related to the kind of investment or all these different opportunities of investment out there, but just in general, why do you think so many people are afraid of investing their money in an intelligent way?
Because they don't know how. That
Mm,
an intelligent way. You really, if you don't know the industry, then you have a broker that you have to trust, and maybe they have experience, maybe they don't. Some people do well, but it's over a long term that you're going to be investing. And with where we're at in the world, this is not 2008. Everybody's got a gut level feeling like something's going on here. It isn't quite right, right?
yeah.
It's not really what it used to be. This is not 2008, because not only do we have the inflation of the world. This is a world thing. It's not just United States now.
All right.
It's happening
Definitely
all
also in
over the
Europe, in
world.
Austria, where we are located. Yes.
I think it's intentional. I think the powers that be are pushing certain things to shake the whole world economy, to push us into a global recession.
Mm.
Why? Then we can control better and have one currency that everyone will use. And on the face, it sounds, oh, isn't that nice? But in the deep dive, if you look at the way that these systems are set up, it's a control system that'll eventually go into rating you about if you're a good person or you use too much this or too much that. They can literally start to control how these systems are being used.
Mm.
And so it's scary, because that's really where we're at. And people
Mhm.
sense that. They may not understand it, but that's why and then they see the chaos that's happening all over the planet. So there's a lot of fear and anxiety.
Oh
And
yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like gambling money. Look, if you're young and you have lots of money, you can do that. But I don't I would suggest you create some safe money. Learn
Mm.
about what I'm talking. That's what I do when I do financial fitness strategies with people. I literally show them what I'm talking about
Oh,
because it's
that's great.
complicated. Nobody knows what they don't know, and it's not their fault.
Yeah.
And actually, people are embarrassed. Like they come into my office and I go, "Okay, where's your retirement account?" And they're, well, then they name some big company, and I go, "But where is it?" Well, it's a retirement account, and they don't know, and they feel so embarrassed. But
Yeah.
there's no judgment,
Yeah.
really, because we're not taught. So
Yeah.
that's why I have a course called Create Income You'll Never Outlive, and I teach people about it. I want people to be empowered. Money's energy. Like it's not the end all be all, really. What does it buy? Dreams and vacations and family and support your business and community, right? But it isn't the end all be all. So how can you use that energy to shift your life so that you have an abundance and that you can give back to your family and your community? And that is the way that healthy money works. You plant that seed where there are no gophers getting it.
Yeah. I like this very, very much. So you just named money is energy. So why do you think so many people are afraid of talking about money? Because there I see a big difference between the US, for example, or Europe, or especially Austria, where I am originally from. You do not talk about money in Austria, period.
Right. Yeah.
When I take a look at the US, it's more people are talking about money, are talking about success, are also showing their success. And I'm not talking about the idiots who are bragging with a car they can't afford and things like that. I'm talking about real success and real money. And I mean, why can't we talk about money and can't we talk about success? Why should we hide, or do we need to hide this? Because when money is energy, when we don't talk about money, there is no energy.
Right, right. Well, and this is what I do a deep dive into in when I'm with people or in my programs, but it really is we're born into it. So people have money stories like, money doesn't grow on trees or, you know, or you grow up in a family dynamic that is pretty stressed out about money. And it's like money in politics. It's very contentious, causes friction, and we got enough of it and nobody wants to deal with it, but it's fear that people don't understand, and it's so instinctual that they don't even realize that they're in it. Like the emotion of money. Like my husband always banked at Bank of America. I'm never going to move my money. I've seen that so much because I've talked to thousands of people. And it really wasn't till maybe year 25 of my practice, I realized, I'm spending more time coaching people on money than actually doing applications. And I really realized the behavioral mindset around money is messed up, right? And that's what I like to empower people around so that they can rebuild and rise above all those limitations that they have around their money, because right now their money is not healthy, it's sick.
Oh,
They
yeah.
lose it, it's taxed. And I show people how to have less tax, how to have income that comes out tax free or tax deferred, depending on what program you get into.
Mhm.
And this is what I call the secrets of the 1%, but it's not secret. It's just not talked about.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's why I broadcast it on my podcast, Money 911. I just get it out, and I feel like I'm running in front of a fire. It's
Mhm.
like I'm driven because this thing is going to light this place on fire because it's global now. It's just not, United States or one country. So it's really time people wake up and start to learn about this, or you will wake up and not have any money
Yeah.
that you all have in the stock market. Because where do they go? Where do you invest your money? Most people are like, sheeps, and they just turn the TV on and says,
Oh,
invest here, invest there.
oh
And
yeah.
then they're lying and they're saying, everything's okay, everything's okay. And I see all these little sheepies about to go off a cliff, and nobody's telling them.
Oh yeah, that's right. And they don't even see that they are jumping across a cliff. Yes, right,
No,
right.
it's sad, really.
No,
That's
that's awesome, Kris. I'm definitely with you with this topic. So we see exactly the same issue in the coachings and in our CHC Academy, that the money mindset most entrepreneurs have is just messed up from their
it's just
upbringing,
messed up,
from
right?
their teaching school, from their education, from their former job. A lot of people have still an employee mindset, even if they are an entrepreneur already a couple of years. So how can an entrepreneur change his money mindset when he have all these bad negative money stories from his upbringing? Money doesn't grow on trees. It's hard to make money. You are not a nice person when you are really wealthy or rich. You can't talk about money. How can an entrepreneur change this and basically get this energy back, and really strive for wealth?
Well, good question. First of all, talk to me, right? But you do have to take time out of your life to do this. So you're not like, okay, I have a new money mindset. No, and it isn't like saying I am good, I'm good, I'm good, or chanting some affirmation. That's not. It's a practical application. It isn't just imagine you're there and you're there. You got to put some energy into it. That's why I created the course, Create Income You'll Never Outlive. And the first few modules in it are around mindset, where we deep dive and put questions out there so people can think about their money mindset. And, maybe we'll come back and do a deep dive on that course at another time. But I do that in a fast way with people when I do the financial fitness strategy session and walk people through it in a speeded up version. But if you want to deep dive into it, which I recommend, you got to take time out to learn these things that I'm talking about, because it's not common knowledge. But
Yeah,
if you don't take the time out to do it and change, you just end up where you're at already right now,
yeah,
right? So you
yeah,
got to make these changes. How do you make the changes? We ask an expert, right? Someone. I'm not experimenting anymore, right?
yeah,
I've done this for 3 decades. I own what I sell only. I
yeah.
don't just say, "Hey, this is cool." I'm not just selling a product. I'm trying to create a plan, showing
Mm.
you all kinds of things about health, wealth, and peace of mind. So it isn't just buy this and do that. It's a whole plan. It's a holistic plan that includes everything. And that's what I do on my one-on-ones with people too.
That's great. I like this definitely. And again, you mentioned a very important thing, in my in my opinion. You said, "Hey, when you don't have the right money mindset, get a coach, get an expert, talk to you." And that's exactly the same in all areas of life and business, in my opinion. Because when you don't know how to grow your business, I mean, there are plenty people out there who did it already. So
Right.
talk to them, get a coach, get a mentor, work with people. I mean, we connected over the C-suite. And now we have this interview. We also have our CHC Academy, which is our online and education platform for entrepreneurs, where people can learn all these things. So it's, in my opinion, crucial to have the right mentor at the right time, the right coach at the right time, and don't get any advice from so-called coaches. I mean, a friend of us always says a 17-year-old can't be a life coach. And I mean,
Exactly.
you did it and you just trained the things you already proved that work. The same what we do here. I'm an entrepreneur since over 23 years. I built 6 companies already, so I know what I'm doing. So I can tell other entrepreneurs when they start their business, how they become successful and how they can avoid certain gaps or certain failures I did in the past. Why? Because I did it already, and not because I read a book and nothing else behind it. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
And mhm.
what do you think about investing directly in companies? So I don't talk about the stock market at the moment, so or something like that. So basically, you have a friend who is an entrepreneur, and he offers you a tiny piece of this company. You directly invest in this company. You are a shareholder. You are a silent shareholder, or something like that. What do you think about this type of investment?
Well, again, realize that it's risk.
Mhm.
Okay. So I encourage people to have a pile of safe money and then, but see, it's like, it's not a one size fits all. I can say, oh, yes, it's great to invest in new companies. It really is an individual thing depending on how much wealth people have. So a lot of people get credit cards and then they buy things that they can't afford. Then they go into debt. Then they're paying off the debt and spending their whole lives in that. So if you invest in a company, you have to make sure you're set. You've got you have your catastrophic illness, long term care, you have income you'll never out, all your future plan for when you're not, the life without work. And then you have another pile of money that you can invest in things. But you really got to be smart about investing in a company that how do you know that it's going to last? And if you've done your due diligence and know that and you have free money that you realize it's a gamble, then you can do that. But, because I've done this for 30 plus years, I've seen a lot of companies rise and fall, but at the time they looked so great. So it's, like I said, it's a gamble. And right now, this is not the world to be gambling in. We just came out of a lockdown and are probably going back into one. You got to make sure that you got rainy day money. You got to make sure you got money if you can't work for a few years. You got to make money when you stop working. And then if you got extra money and you've really researched this company, realize it's a gamble, go right ahead, but don't expect it. And then if you get it, it'd be great. So, but it's an overall picture. So it
Mhm.
would depend on what that person has going on, right? Family, kids,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah, yeah. No, I really like this, Kris. I thank you so much for this. We could go on and on and
I
on. I see
know.
this already.
Yes,
But
yes.
again, thank you so much for these great insights. And I'm sure people want to know more about this or have further questions. So what's the best way to connect with you? How can people get in contact with you?
Thank you so much. That's very sweet of you. So there's a couple ways right away if you want to hop on my calendar for complimentary financial fitness strategy. You can go to meetwithkrismiller.com, and that's Kris Miller, Miller, meetwithkrismiller.com. That gets you on my calendar. You could call our office 951 926 4158. Send me an email at Kris, at healthymoneyhappylife.com. So when you have your money safe and you're not losing it and it's healthy, then you have happy life because you're not worrying, right?
Of course, of course. We're definitely going to post all the contact informations below the video, below the intro. So thanks again, Kris, for these really awesome insights. I appreciate your time. And to all of you listeners out there, connect with her and execute the steps she mentioned, because money mindset doesn't grow on trees, but you need to
Right.
develop it, and you need to get a coach and you need to get an expert, and then you can have great, great, great success in this area. So a lot of success for you in the meantime, and see you in our next interview session. Thanks.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you so much.